Okay. All right. Before we call this meeting to order, I just wanted to say that, I have to move one side or the other there, okay, that, over the past 2 months, we have experienced a great deal of loss in Castine. And so we just wanted to take one brief moment, to think of the families, and friends of Bev Bishop, Diana Payne, Jim Day, Jeff Kneisel, and Mark Peltier. They will all be missed. Okay, now we will call this meeting of the Castine Selectboard to order at 4:03 on July 7th. Wow, it's going fast. Okay. We do have quorum of families here. And thank you. Additions, deletions, or corrections. I have one. I would like to add Jeff Stallman from HCPC to the agenda under new business to give a report from the Historic Preservation Commission. And next we will sign two warrants. So we have the general fund warrant in the amount of $127,311.94, and I will move that amount.
Second.
Thank you. And I'll just say that it was 45 vendors. This one includes traffic calming signs, so they should be here sometime soon, and we can get them out to people to put in your yards. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then second, we have a water warrant for $13,337.73. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. And now we have the minutes from the previous meetings. So I will move that we approve the minutes from the select board meeting on Monday, June 16th. The executive session on Monday, June 16th. The executive session on Tuesday, June 17th. The select board meeting on Monday, June 23rd. The work session meeting on Monday, June 23rd. The executive session on Monday, June 23rd. The select board meeting on Monday, June 30th. And the executive session on Wednesday, July 2nd. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye.
That's a lot of meetings.
That was way back. Okay. Now, thank you, Sue. I don't have any old business. Dan, do you have any old business?
Nope.
Okay. The new business, we'll start out with Jeff Stallman to give a report on what's going on. Sure.
Sit here. Oh, go ahead. Good. Okay. Okay. So, this is our,
Sort of quarterly.
quarterly report for the Castine Historic Preservation Commission. Presently, the commission consists of 4 members. Myself, Jeff Stallman, is acting chair. Brooke Tenney behind me, secretary. George Trinovich and Larry Rosen, who joined us recently. Sadly, as Roberta mentioned, the commission lost its chair a few days ago. Mark Pelletier passed away after an extended illness. Not easily will his seat be filled. Mark was a force in ensuring any change to buildings and grounds within the district and sometimes outside. Conformed with the standard of the existing historic district and the Castine Historical Preservation Ordinance. We will miss him. The Castine Historic Preservation Commission continues to meet generally on the first Tuesday of each month at Emerson Hall in this room. a couple of examples of applications from the past 6 months. The January meeting, Ben Rogers, submitted an application for replacing posts and railings in his front, porch on 36 Main Street. After a lengthy discussion, it was unanimously approved. In February, Patrick and Mary Manning on 85 Main Street. It was just the repair of the foundation to the historical plans at that point. Obviously something needed to be done, and they did a lot of research, had the original plans. It's pretty impressive what they have historically and what they want to do. There should be lots of bravos towards them. That was also unanimously approved. April, partial demolition permit application for Roger Whitten on 506 Castine Road. People may not know, but there is a second historic district out on Route 166A. So all of us learned that at that meeting. So that was interesting. We really had no choice but to approve the partial demolition. The house was falling down, so we approved that as well. Our first order of business is to discuss, going forward, is to discuss additions to the commission in order to have 5 members and 2 alternates. Right now, we only have the 4. Next, we have several notes on shoring up loose ends and gaps in the ordinance. Mark had a lot of edits he wanted to do to the ordinance, and we're going to keep that going. We intend to modify the design manual and introduce a new guidebook for the prospective home buyers in the historic district as well. So we'll get working on that. That's it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Dan, do you have any questions?
No.
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
All right, next. The liquor license from the Castine Inn. And looks like the renewal, all right, it is. Nothing new or crazy. Nothing new or crazy. Okay. Well, I will move that we approve the liquor license renewal for the Castine Inn.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And next is the annual municipal officer appointment. So, the select board did not have time to discuss, fully discuss the appointment and commissions and associations and other appointments that happen every year. They usually happen right on the first meeting in July. So I would like to make a motion, Dan, that anybody that's currently on something that's waiting to be approved for a next step, we extend that for the rest of July.
Okay.
And then later in the month, we can vote on them after we've had a chance to discuss.
Great.
Okay, so I make a motion in a second.
Yep.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. I believe I am at the town manager's report.
The only thing, so
Yeah,
the actual items
This-
is the yeah.
this one, okay. All right, and then for municipal officers, I'm sorry, thank you, for municipal officers, we have the following people to appoint for the next year. Derek Goodine for town manager, Karen Monica for finance officer and treasurer, Susan Maycomer for town clerk and registrar of voters, and excise tax collector, Sean Blodgett for CEO, Bryce Emerson as local plumbing inspector, Scott Vogel as harbor master, Nina Desmond as animal control, and Ingrid Scott as health officer. And then department heads, Nicholas Berry as library director and Randy Stearns as fire chief. I'll
So
make a
moved.
motion.
Second.
Oh, okay, thanks. Whichever way you want it. All in favor? Aye. All right. Town managers report.
Yeah, It's a pretty long report, but I'm not going to, I'm gonna take a tip from Gordon and say that I'll pick certain ones out here. In the interest of time, just to give you an update, on that, but barriers are up on Water Street. I've talked to Joe about the one-way signs. We do have those at the garage, so we'll try to get those up as soon as they get enough time. Let's see, salt shed, sand shed engineering study. I emailed it out to all the members earlier. You have a copy, I have a copy here from Mid-South. I'd like to hire them at a cost of $6,500 to take a look at both our sand shed and salt shed of the transfer station. As you know, the insurance company's already mandated the sand shed. Apparently they had not seen the salt shed. They haven't seen the sand shed because the sand's always in the way, but that has some serious spalling going on. As you know, I mentioned before, I was asking for companies to come look at this and they wanted $4,500 just to come give an initial look-see. So Mid-South actually did that initial look-see for free, and they've submitted a proposal of $6,500 to issue a report on what needs to happen to those two structures in order to make sure that the concrete foundations are sound. So entertain a motion to approve and allow me to sign that contract on behalf of the board.
And I'll make a motion that we approve the contract from Mid-South and allow Derek to sign it. Is there a
I'll
second?
second it. Yep,
Is there discussion? All in favor?
aye,
You forgot to add where the money was gonna come
Oh,
from. The Public Works.
From the Public Works Facilities Capital account. There we go.
Alright, Karen, did you get that? Excellent. Let's see, I gave you a draft of an item called the Ordinance Review Committee, a new idea to help all the committees with their ordinance writing by having a separate committee. I just gave that for you guys to review. We can fine tune and massage that into whatever we need it to be. Also, people may have seen me hanging out down on Perkins Street a few times over the last week or two. That wasn't because I was trying to get a lot of sun, but rather look at some issues of storm drainage and also the sewer lines in that particular area. So today I was down there with Annalise and she's going to give me a proposal eventually here to actually address some of my storm drainage issues and also look at some sewer line replacements in that, but she wants a camera a little further up to Pleasant Street as part of that, because I'd like to do the whole thing down through and basically the problem areas right around where we replace the or disconnected street light. So basically that's the area of my drainage issues, but from just beyond that down towards Tarrentine, there's a problem sewer line area. We don't have the money right now to fix that, but that's why she wants to also go from that point up to Pleasant Street to see if those lines are sound, because they've replaced them in pieces. So there was some root issues or whatever, so that may be an issue that we bring forward for perhaps for town meeting next year to bond out to replace some infrastructure in that area. But it could be budgeted too, but we'll see. It's too premature to actually to discuss it, but I just want you to know I'm looking at that. Let's see, on page 2, traffic officer. She didn't return her offer letter yet, right? I text her hoping it. I'll probably be hiring that person at $20 for an hour, perhaps this week. Let's see, School Street, just as an initial warning again, after Bastille Day, School Street's gonna be shut down through traffic, so you're probably gonna have cones up on the east side, or the church side, I should say. And so anybody living in that area will have to go that way. And then only local traffic will be able to be on the other side, construction traffic, because they need to fix the basement drainage in the school. So they need to excavate from the foundation of the school all the way down to like, I would say it's the elevator entrance of the school department, roughly is where the catch basin is. So they'll have that road dug up here in the next few weeks. I will issue some type of a map like I did Water Street, so people know what's going on. And we'll send out a couple letters to people to inform them that, you know, that they need to go up and down that road where, depending on where they live. Let's see. Public Works, I got 3 applicants right now, another one came in today, I don't know what was in the air, but for it being on a dry spell, now we have 3 applicants for that. I'll be meeting with Joe and Corey to discuss doing some interviews for that position, hopefully this week. Even though I have a short week, as one of my notes says, because I'm off Thursday and Friday. Let's see, no, you don't need that. Fort Madison Engineering working on it. Gazebo design, so we know we need a little redesign on that because of where the footings for the seating coming down was going to be on the flow through or tight necks. And so Dave Wyman said shouldn't be, didn't think that was a good idea. So now we're working on doing that. I am asking for an extension for that project and the Water Street embankment and Water Street in Fort Madison, just so you know. Let's see. Nope, you can read that. So, OPM, so that's gone out to the lawyer for the fire station, as well as I actually reached out to somebody to ask if the timing I have in there is realistic, because I don't want to put somebody up against a wall and they're not going to be able to complete it. So I'm trying to find out those dates. So that could go out as early as this week, and then hire somebody, I believe it's around mid-August. Let's see, the waterfront town study. It will, in the next week or so, is supposed to be getting me a draft report of that. That was part of the MDOT local infrastructure grant. We've had a couple public forums for, as people know. I won't mention T-Mobile, but thank those that attended the story walk. Let's see. Flagpole, fire department dry hydrant, I know they're anxious to get that going out on 166. Radar trail, I'm gonna talk to Joe, I did find the training videos to look at, so we can get that up and running and out someplace, even if it's just on the transfer station road as a practice run. And ad hoc housing committee meets this week, and you can ignore the executive sessions needed for today, as we will not need those for today. And you have my schedule down below, and that should do it.
Thank you.
Record time, Derek.
Nah.
Back. Are there any questions?
You know it's late here.
At the last meeting, we said it was okay for Derek and I to talk about the removal of that abandoned property, the mobile home that's left in my mobile home. Derek, can we bring that up with them now?
Well, I'm looking into the legalities of that right now, where that money would come from and whether we can actually do that. So that's about where I am on it right now, and I haven't heard from the attorney. It's one of the outstanding issues that I have.
Okay, did we not tear a house down at Castine's expense last year? Out on 166A?
I wasn't here when you did that, so I'm not sure where that was or anything
No.
else.
No, we had, there was nothing that got torn down, there was a property that had a dangerous building, a lien got put on it, and that lien has been paid off by the property owner.
All right.
So that was no taxpayer dollars.
So
And there is no clear path forward with this, is there?
I gotta talk to the attorney for, like I said, he might give me that path, but like I said, I gotta wait to find out.
All right,
All right?
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay,
On housing, I talked to Bill Lane, I had given Dan Bill Lane's reference number about 2 months ago.
okay.
Dan, you haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, I guess, at Gartley and Jaworski.
No, I have not. I apologize. It slipped through my my
No.
list. I will definitely take care of it. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. I went to the housing committee meeting last week, and there seems to be a lack of definition as to where do you, what is it you want them to do? Do you want them to look for new sources of housing in Penobscot? Or are you more interested in having housing in Castine? They're questioning whether you were looking for senior housing or workforce housing or student housing. And so I was surprised to hear that they had those questions
Yeah.
after all this time. So I was gonna ask if the select
Well,
board.
Doug, I just want to jump in here. We've had 3 meetings, okay? And the committee was formed. We've had 3 meetings and we are sorting it out. We're working with Greg at the Planning Commission, the Hancock County Planning Commission. They have applied for a grant to help us do this. So we're sorting it out. It's a big, complicated question, and we're asking a lot of questions right now to try to develop a strategy that can be effective. So I just, it is a bit vague right now, but we are making progress.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a zoning question
Okay.
about the, not a vehicle, on the Van Horns, on the corner of Fort and Main. There's the, trailer, what do you call those?
Mobile home, motor home,
No.
fifth wheel motor home.
Yeah, I think so, because it's not drivable as it is. So is that zoning okay, is it zoned for that?
I believe you mean to have that there. I don't know. I know it's a temporary structure, so I believe they can have it there for so long, but then it can't be permanently there all summer, I believe. And I'd have to double check what the actual standards are. I'd have to ask Sean to be sure.
Okay, anyone else? We'll check into it. Okay. Moving on. Other business as required. I haven't had the business, don't do any other business, I mean, we have communications to go through. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so on communications, I want to start with, we received a letter from the hospital corporation board. Telling us that they're not going to be going out to seek the funding at this time for the restructuring of the buildings. That's correct, Bobby. And Bobby, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
What we tried to capture in there, there's no background. But given what's going on nationally with respect to reimbursements and what's up in the air, we think it's prudent to, we got some great response from folks in town and around, who were interviewed by Gary Friedman and Associates, for which we're very grateful. But we are going to put a temporary hold until we see where the Medicaid dust settles.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I'm sad that we have to wait, but I think you're prudent to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, we also have, we have a lot of communications this week. We have a letter from Maine Maritime Academy's Office of Alumni Relations requesting permission to cordon off the southeast bound portion of Pleasant Street from Stevens to Court on Saturday, October 4th from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And they will leave the northwest bound side open for emergency vehicles. I'll move that we allow that.
I'll second it.
All right, do you have any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. And then the Making Waves Castine group is requesting permission to hold a Good Trouble rally protest on Thursday, July 17th at the town common. And what time would that be at?
Well, actually, Roberta, we canceled that,
Oh, you canceled that. Okay,
and I forgot that.
okay, well then we won't worry about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maine Maritime Academy has also told us that they would like to host a barbecue at the back shore on August 23rd. They anticipate approximately 350 to 400 people, including incoming students, faculty, and staff. They will be providing food from a catering company. and they will rent a porta potty for the event. They did not give us times, but if we could get those, that would be great, and, okay, so we can go ahead and approve it.
Yeah, my only question would be, what will they be doing for cleanup? Do they have a crew? I mean, I just think that we should make sure that they're cleaning up. That's a lot of people.
We will, I agree, that is a lot of people, we will make sure that they're doing that, okay.
Yeah.
So,
It can be approved, pending that
pending,
they
okay,
clean up after the event.
so I'll move that we approve this pending that they clean up and that they give us times.
Okay. I'll second it.
Discussion, all in favor? David, did you have a question?
Yeah, I wonder what they do about parking, 400, can't be 400 cars, I imagine.
I'm hoping,
Hopefully they shuttle some.
I'm thinking they're shuttling people. That's another good question though. All right, and we have finally.
So Roberta, one more question on that.
Yeah,
It seems to me that it makes a difference whether the time is in the middle of the day. And then the other question is how late are they allowed to be there?
I think they can be there until 10.
Okay,
Is that?
11, I think.
11,
11.
and it seems to me. I don't know, if it's
I'll-
gonna be a lunch event or a dinner event, but we'll find out and let everybody know.
We'll try to report on the 21st. I know Rachel is on vacation, but I think she's back before you guys meet again, and we'll get those answers.
We'll get the answers and we'll let everybody know by the time. Thank you. So, okay, and then finally, I'm gonna say her name wrong. We got a request from Madeline. Gorell. Thank you. Is that you?
I got it.
Oh, okay. And Madeline would like to have, is it Madeline or Madeline? Madeline. Okay, would like to have her wedding at Fort Madison next year on Saturday, June 27th. Is that correct? Correct. And she's sent a lovely letter with photos and everything. Anyway, I would make a motion that we allow Madeline to have her wedding at Fort Madison.
I happily second it.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Block just cost me a tremendous amount of money. I didn't know I wasn't here to argue against it.
Thank you. So sorry. Okay, it is time to acknowledge members of the public. Does anybody have anything they want to talk to us about?
So,
Liz?
I have two things. One is to continue to look at the bamboo cutting and the freeing up of sidewalk on Main Street. And the other thing I would like to say is that this is not necessarily for the paper, but the paper is gonna already, it won't do any good to put it in the paper, but Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, there's pancakes breakfast on the parish's lawn for everybody in town to celebrate 65 years of birthdays, no, anniversary. It's our 65th anniversary.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have pancakes and coffee and just, I mean, we have no idea how many people will come, but
Congratulations.
thank you.
And what
And
a lovely way to share with the community.
And that's this Wednesday?
Derek.
I don't know how to eat breakfast. but
I think Derek is coming.
Yeah.
So Dennis will be doing the pancakes. I
Okay.
mean, well, our, that they're gonna have their blueberry pancakes at our.
Okay, that is so fantastic. Outstanding.
I
Thank
think
you.
Liz struck a deal with the owner of Dennett's, maybe.
Yeah.
And the workers.
Well, it was hard. It was hard. So everybody's, please don't.
Thank you, Liz. Does anybody else have anything? The gentleman that I just crossed a lot of, did you, were you raising your hand? Okay. David, did you have something to tell us?
Just to say, I have to congratulate Roberta and her husband for the most delicious lobster. The lobsters on the weekend, just phenomenal.
Oh,
and so you're on for next year.
oh, great,
Right.
okay. Actually, Pat Bishop, so that's her gig, but thank you so much.
I just had a question,
Derek?
for Derek.
Yes.
If, you may have already said this, but, I have the plan for the gazebo or what do we call it? And, is there a schedule for the building?
There is not yet.
Okay,
So I'm going to get an extension, so it may end up being extended all the way to next year. Right now Ted's a little busy doing work that he gets paid for rather than pro bono, so told him to take his time, we'll get an extension for that, so.
but
It's a little time for you to work on the weather vane, if that's
I have-
what you're still working
that's
on.
what I'm doing right
Yeah.
now, but I have to go up and see these people in Eddington.
Yeah,
Fortunately, they gave me a nice new road to go up there with.
you are correct, I just was on it yesterday, it was,
Yeah.
although there's a motorcycle accident out just beyond there, I saw yesterday.
Oh, my God,
Yeah,
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 that's terrible. But I want to go up there and talk to the guy and get a sort of definition and get some rough idea of what it will cost.
okay,
That's the idea.
yeah,
But he told me and I told him that only when the gazebo is done, that I'll come back to him and talk about the weather vane and how it's actually going to look.
okay. Good.
Thank
Now, if you go out there on Route 9, by the way, I don't know how they figured this out, I do know how they figured it out, so they're called 395's ending right at 1A. And that becomes now magically Route 9 from there, but there apparently is a pretty good porcupine population out there, cause there's about 20 of them dead all along that section of the highway. So, but the interesting thing is, so the old part of Route 9 is called Route 9 Business now, just so you know. I thought that was interesting, I thought maybe they'd make it like 9A or something, but
Yeah,
it's called Route 9 Business Route.
yeah. But for us, they just go up Route 46.
That works.
That's even better, right? Then you can come back that way and do a loop.
Thank you so much, David. All right, select board comments, Dan, do you have any comments?
I just would like, I think we should write a letter to all the families that have had a loss recently. It'd be nice to get a note from the select board to each of them.
That's good.
Yeah.
It was a terrible week last week.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no further comments. So, our next scheduled meeting is our select board meeting on Monday, the 21st at 4 p.m. We have town and gown on Friday, the 25th at 9 a.m. here at Emerson Hall with MMA. And with that said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second it.
Okay, I made a motion. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you so much.
See you
Bye-bye.
then.
Au revoir.
Good night, yeah, take care.
Yeah, yeah.